Got it.
It asks you for your consent. It's very sex positive.
Yes.
Um,
Very.
hello, Andrew.
Hi, Andy or Andrew.
Andy,
We like both.
Andrew, whatever.
Matter.
We are
Doesn't
you
matter.
and I. We're A/H.
AH. And I gifted the artwork to an artist here. He turned 90 on Saturday. 90 years old. So I gifted him the original artwork of the Erotic Thriller, and wrote a little note on the back of it. His name is Andy Rush. Right?
Andy.
So there's
Andrew,
three Andys.
all over. Yeah.
There's this connection of the Andys.
I'm okay being Andy now. For a while I wasn't. But as long as it's known that the Andy is two E's at the end and not a Y.
Hey, you know, and you can do that, and I don't mind. People can spell my name however, or you know, I guess.
Hey, okay, so why are we here?
Well, we're here to talk about Erotic Thriller and the Tumbleweed, which is which is a story that you sent me, and it was in the first half of the lockdown, like probably like 2 months after the lockdown, right?
Sheesh, I mean, yes, probably. I mean, what I remember is that I was in, as soon as the pandemic moved into quarantine, I knew I needed to set a schedule and a routine for myself. And it was like, okay, I've been writing, and now it's time to just like launch. And I knew I wanted to do an audio story, and I thought about you. And I mentioned the idea to you, and you were like, yes. And so then I wrote it knowing that you were going to produce it. And so even when I wrote it, you were there, even though you were in Arizona, I was in Washington. And then after I wrote it, the connecting there is the desert, because we both have had experience with the desert, although I'm from the opposite of the desert in the Pacific Northwest, but I've experienced the desert, and that's where we became friends, you and I, in the desert.
In the desert.
And so when I sent it to you, once you started working on it, I was like, whoa, this is turning into like a universe. So how do you remember this?
Oh man, you know, before you sent this to me, Taylor and I were working on Brightest Darkness Night, which is the chapter 5, and Taylor has been working on playing drums and honing those skills, which she's been doing amazing. And we finished tracking it, and then you sent me the Erotic Thriller and the themes of the song, and because it essentially is a praise and worship song for the divine. I'd never written a song like that. And I was just like, like this is an idea. And it came to me when we were sleeping on the roof of one of the houses here at the ranch. And it's a dark sky out here. So the Milky Way was just completely visible, and there was no moon. And so I remember waking up and just having this moment where I started crying, because it was just so beautiful, and that's where the song came from. And as working on the story, especially like with the theme and just what the story is, it just felt natural to put that song at the end, because it is in the same key as chapter 4, like the end of it. And it just worked out. And that came to you in a dream, right? Like the whole story.
Well, dreams are important in all of my writing. I'll just say that.
Okay.
I'll just say that much. Thank you to Taylor for doing voices and different things and being involved with the music and the project as well. And you
Yeah.
involved other people in your community as well. And so it's really fun that and you know, I have some friends, especially my friend Bob, my friend Josh, who always you know, I'm sharing my stuff with them as I go, and so they have influence as well. And Camilla, Lucas, there's a lot. I mean, obviously, art is always, even though writing is very solitary thing, it still
Yeah.
always comes out of community. And you know, like our friendship, our communities, our experience. When I heard what you did with the end of the story and how it goes into this song, I I felt the fire. I'll just say that much. Fire. So now that we've made this thing, and this thing can be heard, experienced, because it is immersive, on the Trace podcast, and also andrewhackett.bandcamp.com. You're going to have it on your music site, because where you make the most beautiful music as well. And what's that for people?
It's alhhla at bandcamp.com. I haven't uploaded it yet, but it will be uploaded tonight. I'm going to try to do that. And it's also available on your Bandcamp, which is Andrew Hackett at bandcamp.com, and then the Trace podcast, which you host.
That's right.
So those three.
So, so now that it's on Spotify, yeah, it's everywhere. So now that we,
yeah. Wait a minute. Oh,
through the Trace.
Yeah. Okay.
Now that we've made it, what is the?
Get flagged. We're gonna get flagged.
Flag us. You know.
Flag us. Paul McCartney's gonna find out.
Well, yeah, you put in all kinds of. I like referencing a lot of cultural things in my stories just for fun, or it's just the way I think or experience the world. And you managed to put in these wonderful clips. We got David Duchovny from Red Shoe Diaries episode, or the movie, or whatever it is. We've got Freddy Krueger. We got RoboCop. There's so many in there. So come at us.
Chevy Chase.
We're gonna have so much fucking fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I did a meme for that, but I didn't post it because I felt kind of like the thing that I wrote in it was just kind of like it's like I didn't know what was going to do for the future generations, me just reading a script and not questioning. So I'm going to go think about what I did and sit in the hot tub. But yeah, Chevy Chase is going to listen to this.
Chevy Chase.
Hope so. Chevy Chase. Krueger did, though. Freddy Krueger, he liked it, but was not sexually turned on from it.
Yeah, and just to be clear to people, the goal of Erotic Thriller, the Tumbleweed, is not to turn you on. And if you do get turned on, hey, wild.
Hey.
But it is about being turned on when you're 14 years old. Certainly.
Yeah, in the
and turned off.
Yeah, both. It's just it's the confusion, the nervousness, and just the unknown about what happens in between that. Like I definitely connected with some things and emotions and feelings, like the first time, I kissed somebody on the bus, and just how nervous I was and all the thoughts afterwards, and just like, and hopefully, and also,
hopefully that, the thing about 14-year-olds, hopefully that it's a universal kind of thing that, even though it's very specific, some of the cultural things, it's about the universal of including like, it's not it's a queer story also. And for anyone who doesn't think that you're kind of queer when you're 14, I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, you're just figuring stuff out, you know?
Yes. So what does the story mean to you now that we made this thing, and it's out in the world? What do you think now?
I think that it's a good, you know, right now I'm kind of thinking about it. It's geez, drawing a blank right now. I think what it means for me is the like
What does
coming
the
to a conclusion.
experience mean to you of making it, and like you and I making it together, and other people and friends that have helped with it? How are you going to think
Oh,
back on making this thing?
well, one of the things was it was a big dose of inspiration and life into creating, because you know, for a little bit before that there was some things where I was just kind of like, I don't even know if I want to play music anymore, because it's like, all right, you know, and then you know, working on these projects, like having Taylor play drums, and then you sending me this, both of those things in tandem helped me push forward and try, because sometimes all you have to do is just sit down and create, even if you don't know what to create, you know.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
the main thing, is letting yourself be there and letting yourself feel nothing, and then just working on it, even if it's not up to what your standards are, because those things, you know, it's like climbing a stair. You know, you take steps, and then you're just like, man, there's so many steps, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're somewhere, and then that boost of inspiration and hope is in the creation, even if you don't know it, you know, even if you don't see it. So that's what I experienced with this, and it helped me, and it inspired me to get into audio in a whole different sense, and now doing, you know, the audio and the soundtrack for La Bufadora. This was like a help for a ramp up for the movie. But
Shout out to Jeremy.
You know, we're continuing. Yep, shout out to Jeremy the Yerms, which he should be here, I think tomorrow. He's moving out back to the Southwest, him and Kate.
Bufadora, we've got
So,
a radical experience coming with that film.
Oh yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie, and you know, looking at audio through Erotic Thriller, and like, you know, especially, you know, your narration, it's awesome. I really enjoy, you know, the presence of your voice, and how inviting, you know, the story, but the way that you're telling it too is just awesome. And it inspired me in these different moments, you know, like to make certain sounds or to play with your vocal. And in some moments, it's really fun because it sounds like it's in cadence with beat, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So trying to create like almost like a metronome to your cadence of speaking, and then working around it. But yeah, it you know, like listening to it, well, actually reading it, when you sent it to me, I read it and I didn't know that it was going to go into where it did at the end. And I was so captivated by it. Like for me, I was just like, man, this is a great story. And so working on it was really exciting. So thank you.
I just hope, you know, the people that hear it, that it's a beautiful experience for all the reasons, especially the music. And yeah, this is it. Now that it's out, you know, for people that, you know, I'm always happy to talk with people about it. And you and I are both on like Instagram and things. easily reached. So
Yep.
for people who hear it, a story is always open.
Yeah.
It's not, as soon as someone else is involved in it, the story is alive with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's fun to hear how people experience.
Which you have to give a little shout to all the people that did pre-listens and gave feedback about it. You know, there was how many people?
20 or 30, probably.
Yeah, 20 people that did the little survey and like talked about what they felt, and it was good. Like, it was great to hear how people reacted to it, and just the feedback of it, you know, if things are too loud but like the point of it is to try to connect with people and to try to see if there's emotions or ideas or things that people remember about their experience at that age. And I thought that was a really cool thing that you touched on in that, is to try to get people to think of that time period. Not necessarily 1992, you know, because everybody's coming from different timelines, but you know, just that it's coming from that is awesome. And to hear people talk about it is great, you know, because that's what art is supposed to do. It's supposed to help us either realize something or remind us of something or challenge us or inspire or make us really
disrupt.
Disrupt. It's supposed to move, you know. And the fact that it did with those 30 people, and then the other people that we've showed it to, you know, that, you know, in person or, you know, sitting down and listening to people like Dominic, shout out to Dom.
I listened with my 14-year-old.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And what did he think about it?
He loved it. I mean,
that's awesome.
I was like, this might get a little uncomfortable, but we should listen to it together.
Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, it's not like it's over the top or anything, because there's some really extreme art out there, you know, but it is kind of uncomfortable. Like, there was a couple of people that were just like, man, this is kind of intense in certain spots, you know, of it, you know, especially with the pornography and the different things. So, but I mean, that's what it is. And
that's what it is.
It's light. It's lighter compared to a lot of things. So,
yeah.
But it's, yeah.
Well, Andrew, Andy, thank you so much for doing this with me. We have we have collaborated before, and we will collaborate again. We continue.
Yep. Sayulita.
Sayulita in your future, people. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I love you, buddy.
Love you.
Love you too.